And now we've got Mr. 1000 and Desiree, who plays two parts. In the movie, and you guys are gonna have to take it from here because they're not gonna be able to hear me.
Oh.
Just yell. Just talk louder.
Just yell.
Just talk louder.
Well, we left off. We were talking about what was the hardest part about the movie.
But
obviously, you got your second role as because we can talk about the characters themselves.
Yeah.
You got the role as the campground
owner,
wife,
whatever. And
but I have a solution to that I thought of after, but we'll go.
Was it hard to take on that role?
The role itself wasn't hard. The problem was it was 5,000 degrees that day, and I had to put on a flannel.
It was really hot.
And these big old jeans and these big old boots and this big old wig. It was so hot that I just, luckily we finished it in a day, but that's all we had.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of animated discussion, because it came down to the day, if we're filming scenes with the campground owner today, it has to be done. And right. we were already 2 campground owners down.
Because that was your last chance to film with Devin.
Well, we were gonna lose Devin. We were potentially gonna lose people. So then they came up with the idea that Desiree would come in, because you'll see how her character goes. She didn't need to be in the scene where everybody meets the campground owner, so that she would take over. So then we got our neighbor to do it as well. So there ended up being 2 campground owners.
So Gary's part turned from one
person into 2. And then in my head, well, we'll just solve this, that it's his wife. We're meeting the campground owner's wife, who we didn't even know about existed. And there was a great line that just didn't make it, because we were so worried about getting everything done, and specifically what was already in the script. I just said, I said, let's get a line in there about, like, you saying something like, you think I'd let that idiot run this place or something. And it didn't make it. So it's a little confusing. You'll see how there's 2 campground owners. In my head, though, now in my head canon, because I tried so hard to make everything make sense when I was writing it. In my head canon, though, they're brother and sister. I don't know. That's how I reconciled it in my head.
Well, I never read that far into the script because it didn't matter. I didn't know half the stuff that was going on. I didn't have any idea. So when you handed me that chunk of the script that day, I was like, what? I didn't know there's a million lines to that. I thought it was just 1 page, and you guys were like, no, there's 3 more pages back.
There's 3 more pages of this.
So,
in the end, when you watch the movie and how we filmed it, it didn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
No, and Devin really pumped that up and
Devin has a much smaller part in the script, and we said, well, now how do we work this? How do we work him in there? Because I wasn't counting him as part of the original group, but then it just got to the point where he had to be. I said, how can we work him in? Oh, well, if these two people or one person, whatever, aren't really the best campground owners, then they're gonna have to have some kind of caretaker. So groundskeeper Devin was born, and you'll see. I said, your job is, you're her hype man. Whatever these people say, whatever the Lawrences say who run this Camp Shady Hills, whatever they say, you're gonna do. And he totally stole he's totally stole his part.
You know how I found out about this movie?
How did you find out?
Wasn't you? Wasn't anybody in this room? It was at work from our boss. Yeah.
I don't know. I would swear I would have told you about it.
Nope. She's like, I heard you and Dan are making a movie. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, he's got this whole movie in his head. You guys are doing this. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, boss lead. So yes, I found out from our boss at work.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked that day too.
But maybe that's because I just mostly was talking to Mike about it.
Probably, because I think I came home and asked Ed, and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing a movie.
How did Ed find out about it? Do you remember?
I'm assuming you guys probably talked about it when you guys went on that weekend trip.
No.
Because that was weeks after your incident at bowling.
Was it? But
Yep.
I don't think.
No, we didn't. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, we didn't
I'm not
talk-
sure when I knew about it. When I found out, I took off with the role of editor and
Yeah,
filmer because I'm the only one that really has any experience with that.
doing the YouTube, and not 1 second of this would have got done without Ed.
Yep.
So hats off.
I mean, there's nights that we would film this and run home so we'd have the Wi-Fi, because obviously there's no Wi-Fi in the middle of the woods. Run home at midnight and sit up and editing for hours into the morning of what we had in case we needed to redo something, so it wasn't months later that we were completely missing something. We had the camera fall one day, and when we picked it up, we didn't realize it messed up the whole sound.
Yeah.
We lost a whole bunch of editing and filming from that.
Dan standing in the way.
Dan in the way. There's a few sun glare problems.
There was a huge problem with a certain deck
Yes.
Oh.
that we had stuff filmed, and it was great. And then somebody built a giant deck on their camper, and we had to start over.
And then we had the issue with somebody got a new car from the first year to the second year, so we had to do a little happy maneuver around that. What else? I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about some of the Easter eggs?
No, one was Henry wore the wrong doggone clothes. I mean, completely the wrong clothes.
Well,
Yeah.
And he's a teenager, so his voice completely changed from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about that.
Well, I know,
The big
but-
was the one scene where it's just him, but he's wearing completely the wrong clothes.
Clothes was an issue, yes.
But that happens throughout the movie. Of course.
All right. Well, my original scene we filmed last year, and I had no idea what shirt I wore. Couldn't tell what shirt I wore.
It was
So
on
I just-
YouTube. You had access.
I know, but I still couldn't figure it out.
The best is, right from the beginning, I was telling everybody, remember what you wore, bring it with you to camp, have it with you at all times. Just please be ready. Just didn't happen. So I gave up. I still tried to remember, I'm still trying to work with everybody, and this is supposed to be fun. But I said, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to make that mistake. I'm going to be in my same outfit the whole time, and that's the way it's going to be. And I did it, except for people with excellent, skills at seeing this kind of thing. There is a scene where I wore the wrong hat. And as soon as we were done that day, I'm like,
Hey,
I went
wore
this
the
whole
same
day.
kind of shirt. I just couldn't remember what the heck color I wore.
Well, there's like 4 different tones to that shirt that you have, because
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what I
wearing
got.
it now because I'm a truck driver and I work and I use work clothes.
But you have like 3 different shades of that shirt.
Hey, the best scene is 1 second Mike has shorts on, then he's got pants on, and then he's got shorts on.
Yeah.
And that was literally all filmed in the same couple hours.
Yeah, it was weird.
The whole thing. And he changed his pants like 3 times.
Yeah.
Poor Mike. And it was hot. It was very hot that day.
Very
No,
hot.
that wasn't on purpose. He just put pants on.
It was very hot that day.
It was
I
very
think,
hot.
if it's the day I'm thinking of.
It's the brick scene.
Well, another problem we had was most of the time you could gather everybody was at mealtime. So we'd eat, and then you'd have to disperse people and get them out of the camera. And that was a whole other problem of, well, I'm full now. I don't want to move.
Yeah, and everybody getting together to eat, they are getting together to eat. They're not getting together to film. And then we lose an hour of our precious daylight, which was crazy. Always fighting that, or fighting what was supposed to be in the dark.
We want to keep in mind, we're not picking on anyone.
No, absolutely not.
No. It's just...
It's stuff that you don't know about when filming something like this because we're not filmmakers.
How many different people are in the movie?
9, I think.
9?
There's got to be more than that. Yeah, Patrick.
One,
Mike,
1,
Meredith,
2,
Henry,
3, 4.
Marsha, Patrick. Isn't there like 14?
No. Can't be.
I think it is 14.
14 people.
Yeah.
Look, me and you, Patrick, Dan, Mike, Meredith, Henry, Marsha, Savannah, Will, Sarah, Emily, Devin, and then
Greg.
And my mom.
and your mom.
Yeah.
15 people.
15 people that we had to gather, and like Dan said, most of these people were in multiple people in these same scenes, so
It's a whole different deal. It's not like we're paying anybody.
Right. You know, and you have the kids that are in cheerleading and football and soccer and gymnastics and Girl Scouts and sports and you know, and birthday parties, and it's summer, and you know.
Yeah.
So trying to get everybody down there at the same time. I mean, you can't be mad at anybody for, you know, doing their stuff, but it was like, okay, let's everybody get out your calendars. 3 weeks from next Saturday.
All right, we're doing this. 3 weeks from Saturday. Everybody remember your costumes.
That's why I want to film this one of my brothers.
And
we are going, the people have to commit to 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We have jobs.
And then I never knew a 6-year-old's social calendar was so active.
Yeah.
I think she was busier than the rest of us.
Every single weekend, one of those 6 years old was turning 7. They were having birthday parties like crazy.
And that's why her scene is so short, because we couldn't get her.
Yeah, but it was just a little surprise, a little fun. Because when the original idea came out, don't forget, when I had the original idea, she was like 2 years younger, too.
Hey,
right.
But somehow you can hear her through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But she's supposed to be always kind of around.
Kind of around, yeah.
Which makes it fun.
We should have done that at least once.
What?
Just had her kind of around. I guess maybe we did.
I'm sure there's... Well, you can hear her playing with the dogs and stuff.
You can hear her?
You can hear her.
Yeah.
You can hear her a lot. But she's not, which is fine. Because
she's supposed to be just out and about and there and...
I'd like to say something Ed said there about there's no dogs in the movie. That was totally my decision, and I stuck by it. Our friend Roxy snuck her way into the movie
a couple times,
and I think you can hear some dogs barking. But
just one.
Who's that? Leonardo, or what's that dog next door's name?
Brutus.
Leonardo. Brutus.
Brutus. Leonardo. It's not even Leonardo. Leonardo. Ain't he one of them turtles?
It could be.
But
it could be.
So, but my thought process was I wanted these people to be isolated. I wanted them to be alone. And the first thing that, if you're watching a TV show or movie and a dog pops up, the first thing, what's the dog's name? Oh, he's so cute. Da, 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 da. And then I'm killing people. So I don't want people sitting there thinking, oh, are they going to kill the dog? Or who's taking care of the dog? Or does that dog have water? It looks so hot out. I didn't want any of that. That's the whole thing with the dogs. I love dogs. I don't have 7 of them myself. I have a cat, but that was the reason. That was the idea behind the dogs. And also, from the beginning, I want to say too, we didn't say before, Camp Evil 5 is a horror comedy. I love cheesy, scary movies, and I really did want parts of this to be as scary as they could be, but it was just too much fun to write and go for the joke. And once it was edited together, it's all comedy. There is no scary,
Now,
as far as I'm concerned.
I asked Savannah, because she's our 7-year-old, and we watched it, I don't know, 2 days ago with her, and I asked her if it was scary at all, and she said no.
So
that wasn't her complaint.
She loved it.
Yeah, she loved it.
She can't sit through a movie because she's 7.
Yeah.
She sat through the whole thing.
And wants to invite all her friends.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yes, we're inviting them all.
Don't invite the 7-year-olds.
We're inviting everybody. We got to get the Central Catholic folks there.
Yeah.
All of Henry's buddies. So if you're a football parent, Mom, pass the word on to the team. So, but no, I had fun. I wasn't expecting the second role. My role was pretty fitting.
How did you, when I told you what your role in the movie was, not obviously nothing to do with being the campground owner, but what Desiree
the original one
does in the movie, what did you think?
I thought it was funny because it's stuff you guys always tease me about. So I thought it was fitting, and the way you guys took me out kind of didn't age well because it was from a joke from the previous year. So 2 years ago, but that's okay.
Well, plus that joke actually goes back to a lot more when we used to smoke. We used to smoke and we all quit, but you'd stay in the car extra long to finish that cigarette.
Dan, that had nothing to do with a cigarette.
It doesn't matter.
It happens.
It's not as bad.
Yeah, it's not like.
I learned my lesson of what happens if you stay in the car too long.
Are you hearing this, Patrick?
And this guy, I don't know if he's going to come on this side of the table. He's saying no. But another thing that happened that kind of
made... toss him the mic
no.
So they can hear him?
No,
he's too busy Black Friday shopping?
Yes.
But another thing that made me really want to get this movie done and make it an actual thing was that Patrick's daughter and granddaughter were visiting, and we all went out to eat, and I ended up across the table from his granddaughter. I never met before, and I don't know what to say to a teenage girl. And I said, we're going to make a movie down at camp, and your grandpa's going to be in it. And her face just lit up.
They are coming.
Yes, and she's like, Mom, did you hear that? And I was like, all right, well now I really got to put my money where my mouth is, because now this really has to happen.
I do believe your family from Michigan's coming down too.
I can't let this girl down. She's got to see her grandpa in a movie now.
So I forwarded it to a lot of your family. I didn't send it to your military friends.
Dad's coming. Your brother's
Uncle
coming.
Tom's coming. Your cousins from Michigan
your daughter's
are coming.
Your granddaughter's coming.
Your nephew.
Against my will.
You were not.
My dad is going to be there. He's going to think I'm an idiot.
No. Yeah. He's going to be like, attaboy.
He's not going to get any of the jokes. I don't know. It's going to be.
Your dad is fine.
It's going to be really interesting.
Listen, if you're in the Maslin area, come. It's $13.
It's $13. It's stupid. It's fun. It's a good time.
It'll be cold outside, so it's not like there's other things to do.
You'll get
January 18th.
January 18th. Doors open at 6. Movie starts at 7.
You'll get to meet
Lions Lincoln Theater.
You'll get to meet the cast
in Maslin, Ohio.
Independent filmmaker, as it says.
It does say that
on the website. Yeah.
We're independent filmmakers now.
Yeah, that's a title I will take. It's going to be on my gravestone.
Should we get
Oh my
T-shirts
gosh,
made?
I should change my LinkedIn.
Well, yeah,
What?
we're in theaters.
Yeah.
Although technically I think you're supposed to be in theaters for 2 weeks before it counts.
No.
But we got our one day.
No. We'll be in again. We can't afford to put it in for 2 weeks.
No.
Holy moly. It ain't cheap to put a movie in the movies.
I mean, it'd been much cheaper if we would have done a weekday, but nobody's going to go on a weekday.
No, we can't. Too many work and commitments and.
Well, it'll cover the 2 weeks because this thing's going to go up on YouTube. I don't know. I'm thinking about starting its own channel for it. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to handle that yet. It will definitely be on Big Ed and the Pups. But I might put it somewhere else too. But it's for sure going to be on Big Ed and the Pups in 10-minute increments.
So you're going to do like Big Ed and the
Big Ed and the Pumps.
Pups independent film channel?
I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But it'll be on my main channel, of course. But that'll be after it's in the theater. And then we'll break it up into chunks. I'm going to break it into 10-minute chunks. So what is it going to take? It's going to take like 7-8 weeks to get the whole thing out.
That's a lot of time to commit.
There's no commitment to make. I just chop it up and put it up there.
I'm just not committed enough to finish it.
You already did your part.
Yeah. But I don't know. I suppose we're probably running long.
No, we're not.
Nope.
Nope.
Well, we want to keep it about an hour, I would imagine.
No.
What?
That doesn't work. It's long as possible.
Okay. Patrick,
Joe Rogan's 3 hours long, so
I've never watched Joe Rogan.
We're gonna get Joe Rogan's audience like that.
yeah.
You never
Hey,
know.
if we got 1/10 of his audience, I would be real.
What's the guy? What's the guy he always talks to? Like the producer or something? Oh, hey, roll that footage.
It's like Jamie.
Jamie, roll that footage we're talking about. There was that UFO sighting in Michigan 3 weeks ago. I want to show people. Yeah.
So, since we're talking about stuff from the movie, do you guys want to talk about the food you made specifically for the movie and the problem that you had with it?
Well, okay, so
because that was pretty.
Well,
big.
Should I say about? Well, okay, so I'll tell you one thing. As a writer, not calling myself a writer, but I wrote it, and you realize that you really do need to think about these people a little bit, who they are. And luckily, I know them, but they're still caricatures. They're still goofy.
I don't know. Something made in the way.
They're still talking about themselves. So my basic my very, very basic premise to go off of was that men are stupid and women are selfish, and that's how I'm going to approach this.
I didn't know that, but okay, continue.
Yeah, well, men are selfish and women are stupid. It goes both ways, but these guys are dumb, right? And these women, they get along, but well, why do they get along? Oh, well, then I just went for the silliest thing I could think of. They're a witch's coven on vacation, So if you think back to the car scene, I'm trying to establish you don't get along that well.
No, that's very true.
Sarah's the leader, and this.
I'm not stupid. I was in my tiny camper.
Yeah, tiny. Yeah. Oh. But that's kind of the basic. That's the very basic idea, and then you kind of have to think about where was I going with how people would approach things. So that kind of led to them being witches, and why they were there. The super blood wolf moon I thought was super funny, but then I didn't want it to be super cartoony, wiggle your nose like Samantha from Bewitched and something crazy would happen. because I really, at the heart of it, I just wanted it to be a slasher. Somebody's killing these people off because they're dumb and selfish. But I did want to, since I went down this path, there did have to be something to say that these girls were witches. So what they made for us for dinner was going to be, since the guys don't have any food, that's just part of the movie, the women were going to feed us, but they were going to feed us the stuff that they were eating, which was supposed to be bugs and mice. And I had, in the script, it says they try to give us like a couple different dishes. And I thought that would be easy. We could just do like a theme party, but it just turned out easier to think of the old stereotypical, big pot of whatever the witch is cooking, and we're gonna eat the witch's brew. So we went out. I spent like $160 on food, trying to come up with the most disgusting thing we could come up with, and I bought plastic bugs on Amazon that were gonna be in the thing, and then we boiled it, and it's in the movie.
You succeeded on it being disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over. I mean, because nobody's gonna know what's actually in this
actually,
thing, so
yeah.
you might as well just put it out.
Ramen noodles,
Captain Crunch.
There's Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Canned tomatoes, lentils, bread, lots of bread to fill up the pot.
It was full.
But what else? There was more. There was a couple other things.
Old Bay.
Oh yeah, the Old Bay. That was funny.
Well, that's how you got the color.
No, I had the Old Bay.
Yeah. The color came from the Captain Crunch in the tomatoes.
Now you guys filmed that a weekend like nobody was at camp. It was the four of us.
Yeah, it was just me and Dan and the camera, and we were like,
well, me and Patrick were down at his camp for
That's
like
not,
cooking
it
or
wasn't
something.
Scripted. We just added stuff, and I threw it in there because we spent all that time.
Well, the whole thing, the whole damn spending the $160 on the whole setup was in my head to get one shot of the stew brewing so we could establish what we were eating. And then Ed did something that was really funny. So that's cool. But I'm trying, was there anything else?
I just remember the bugs, the ramen noodles. I didn't know about the Captain Crunch. I knew you threw a bunch of bread in there.
I'm trying to think if there was something else.
The lentils, the tomatoes.
But here's the kicker though. So we filmed that, and then there was nobody around to film us eating it, which of course nobody was ever expected to eat any of that stuff, but there was nobody around to eat it. So I took 5 Ziploc bags and I froze it, and that was in my freezer for over a year.
Freezer at camp, not at home.
At camp. And then when it came time to actually film it, that stuff smelled so bad that I didn't even give the girls a bowl to even just hold in the scene. Like,
he gave it to me though.
Yeah, well, I gave it to the
guy.
Huh?
Was it bad?
His freezer must have shut off for 6 months. Yes, it was bad.
It was real bad. But I didn't give it to the girls because I didn't want.
It had mold in it and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Hey!
I didn't want them to complain and then not do the scene, so I didn't even bother to give them bowl. I just gave the bowls to the guys because 2 of the guys were supposed to really like it anyway. So that was the joke. Man, oh man, that stuff, you have no idea how bad that stuff smelled. Unbelievable.
Well, there's the other side of that too, of what happened to the poor pot that was brand new.
Yeah, we ruined it.
There was only one person upset about the pot.
Well, no, but the bugs melted to the pot, which I would have never have imagined. I mean, I guess a boil.
I honestly didn't think of it.
I didn't think of it either, which is whatever.
I didn't think it would be an issue because I didn't think that.
It ended up not being an issue.
Well, no.
We never used the new one.
No.
Yes, we did.
Well, I mean, not for the. I just meant for the movie, but
we haven't had a boil since.
No? Oh, I
No.
thought we did. Oh.
No.
Okay.
So we threw that away, but I found months later I found the lid of that pot in my car.
Because we filmed that and closed the camp the same weekend.
Was it closed?
Yeah,
I don't think so. So
I
we were
think
like
there was still a
tinkering
couple
around.
weeks left.
we closed camp. We never had another boil.
No, the boil we had was no. I'm sorry, but I know you're wrong because the boil we had was the day I made the fake bricks, and that was a couple weeks before we did the witches.
We
brew.
didn't have it before.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying the one that we replaced because he bought a new pot. We never used. So I'm saying it didn't matter that it got ruined because we never used it.
And something else I was going to say, just there were some props that were permanently left down at camp because we just put them in Mike's shed. But for basically a year and a half, I dragged all those movie props around with me everywhere we went, just in case we might film something. And it was a pleasure to clean out my car when we were done.
You have alien supplies in the back of my car, by the way. But that's another story, another problem. Yeah, you did. I needed something to give something to you. I don't know, at work one day, and you opened up your car. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Just in case. You never know.
We need to film.
Never know." So, do you want to talk about how you made the bricks? Because that was a whole other ball of joy.
We just got styrofoam and spray
let's not talk
paint.
about how we make the bricks now. We're going to leave that for commentary.
We do need to do a commentary track.
What I plan on doing with the release in 10 minutes, get together, film a little bit, and then release that to accompany with the 10 minutes. Like they do with like Deadliest. You ever watch Deadliest Catch? They film. They film they release the episode, then they talk about the episode. So I'm thinking we release the 10 minutes, and then we talk about the 10 minutes after.
So yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You're gonna have to get everybody back together.
We could do it. We could.
I just need Dan.
We could do it really. We could do like 7 minutes since it's 77 minutes or something. We could do 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. That might be fun.
Depends how to break it down because I got to break it down by scene. You don't want to leave in the middle of a scene.
So, but I don't know. What you can think of anything else real quick? I have to their faces, but I want to. I assume at least some of them are going to watch this, and hopefully we'll do 1 or 2 more of these with some different cast members if they can join us. It's holidays, everybody's busy. But I want to personally thank everyone that had anything to do with Camp Evil 5. I said Desiree was our cheerleader. Ed was everything. Patrick was our inspiration. Will and Marcia stole every single scene they were in. They were awesome with virtually nothing to actually say or do.
Will says a lot.
Yeah, but if you ever get your hands on this, it says Will mumbles something about having to poop, and that's it.
So a lot of Will's stuff was like improvised then.
Completely. And it's actually really funny because can I talk about that for a second? I don't want to get sidetracked.
I don't care.
Or should we save it for the commentary? But the idea of Will mumbling comes from the character in The Usual Suspects.
I thought it came from Boomhauer.
I did too.
No, because so there's a character in The Usual Suspects named, what's his name? Benicio del Toro plays him. And he talks really funny. He said, what are the keys and all this stuff? So who stole the truck? And he said he talked like that because he read the script and he realized that his character was only there to die. There's not one thing that his character said was important to the plot. So he says, what does it matter how I say it? So I was really obsessed with the idea of having a character that it didn't matter what he said. And then if I felt like I actually gave Will something important to say, that I would just be his translator, that I would just say it. But we'll have Will say, "Oh, dang old tractor," and then that's Boomhauer, because he became a Willbilly.
Yeah.
My mind is blown right now. I thought this was after Boomhauer this entire time.
No, it's just the easiest. It's a lot easier to say act like Boomhauer than act like the guy from Usual Suspects.
Because
And
I would have never known what you're talking
and
about.
Will, then he shows up, because we didn't tell people what to wear. I didn't want to even do that because they were just goofing around. So Will shows up in these overalls. So he had to be a hillbilly.
You know what that's from?
But
That's his Super Mario costume. He's wearing a Super Mario costume for Halloween.
But he just changed the T-shirt.
I didn't
No,
know.
he had the same T-shirt.
No, Mario wears a red T-shirt.
He wore a red T-shirt at the beginning.
I didn't. He was the Willbilly.
Yeah.
That's what I called him. But yeah,
Will
should
have had to do without a T-shirt.
That'd be Will and Marcia chewed up every single scene they were in, and Marcia asked me a lot of questions and drove me nuts. Why would this character do this, or why is this happening? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just that's how it happened.
Her final scene
is gold. The best part of that, which we'll get to another time, is lost because of the day-night thing mostly. But anyway, Mike was awesome, consistent, happy, at least never complained, happy to do whatever was asked of him. Sarah was amazing, huge trooper, filmed when she was sick, a whole day when she was really sick.
That's right.
Really appreciate that. Really appreciate Emily coming on board and then giving us Devin in the process, groundskeeper Devin. So happy for Greg to step in and do that.
I don't know that he even knew he was there.
Yeah, it was
I don't think he knew he was there.
He's going to be so surprised when he comes to watch it. Sees that he's in it.
Oh, I'm in the movie. Why is my name up there?
He did not on purpose, just being Greg at the campground, did one of the funniest things that you'll see in the movie. Who else? Ed's mom, last minute addition to the process, knocked it out of the park. Again, I wasn't there when that was filmed, but I laid it out. She did exactly what was asked, and it turned out awesome.
Well, heck, the day we did Savannah's stuff, she forgot her little costume, and they had to go costume hunting.
Yeah, that's another big thank you to Marcia for getting Savannah's costume.
That was last hour. Oh, I'm running down to the drugstore. We'll be back in 5 minutes. It was close
like
to
4
Halloween.
hours. Like 4 hours.
It shouldn't have been a problem.
But it was fun.
Right, but she said there was no Halloween costumes to be had anywhere.
Savannah had a blast.
Oh, she loved it.
And then Henry for putting up with all that, for literally being in the back of that truck, and we didn't even show it on film. For climbing the tree, for again pretty much doing what was asked. That's great.
Yeah.
Am I missing anybody?
Yes.
Who?
Henry's mother.
Meredith. The whole inspiration for the whole thing. The whole set off the whole chain of events. And it did a great job with her scene. Great. Everybody was awesome.
Well, your mother for letting us borrow her house multiple times.
Filming at Ed's mom's house, yeah.
But her kitchen setup is pretty perfect for that.
Yeah, the opening credits, that couldn't have came out better.
No, and that's...
I don't think we could have pulled that off at anybody else's house. Like, nobody else's house was set up like
Set-
that.
No, I don't think anybody in the house is that clean.
Yeah. It's just the because all I was maybe we should say this, but it's the layout of Ed's mom's kitchen just saved the opening credits. which we're actually gonna, now that I think about it, the only real idea I had for him was gonna be pretty boring, especially compared to what we ended up with.
Well, the lighting in there is pretty phenomenal too.
Yeah.
So that was a big help, huge help.
Part of the opening credits is in one of the previews, so.
So I think, yeah, I don't want to forget anybody.
And
Everybody.
some of this stuff is based off of real life jokes. I mean, some of it has purpose to things that have really happened to us in real life.
Well,
Technically, we could put this based on real life.
kind of.
Because technically it is. A lot of it's real life.
Henry does hate surprises.
Yep.
I had to get that in there if Henry's going to be in the movie.
And we get Mike Raid all the time.
Yeah, being Mike Raid is the thing.
Meredith really is that passionate when she's explaining something to you that she wants you to watch.
Yep.
That was 100% spot on.
Oh my gosh. Listen, and this is a compliment 100%. Again, this is the idea as it appeared in my head, and this is why it had to be Meredith to set up the whole thing, because I've been on the phone with Meredith where she's telling me about a show or a movie to watch, and I don't know how long that scene is in the movie. 3 minutes? All right, imagine that, but make it 25 minutes. And it's great. It's great. It's awesome. And that's not making fun of anybody. It's just so that had to be in there. That's the kickoff for the whole thing. When you see it, you'll understand. Recommending a television show to the wrong person at the wrong time.
And Patrick did good at being creepy.
Yeah, again, Patrick, out of the park. No lines to look at. Just some general, hey, why don't you say this? Here's some ideas. Just ran with it. I had to be an actor in a previous life.
And you didn't disown us.
And he's in the preview.
And he's in the preview. He's
one of the previews.
The single funniest moment in still the first day we filmed. The single funniest thing that makes me laugh every time. Well, there's kind of two from that very first day.
Yes. We laughed so hard we cried, and then we had to cut a bunch of stuff out because we were laughing so hard.
So I guess if I don't have anything else to say at this point, I'm super excited to do a commentary track because I am a sucker for commentary tracks. And we don't want to give away any spoilers, and we kind of danced around some things, and I have some ideas for a commentary, but I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed listening.
Commentary, like as the thing's playing or after?
Like as the thing's playing.
So you want us to record you watching it?
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'd love that.
You could hook your phone up to the battery brick.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Totally can pull this off.
I think we're gonna release it as it is in chunks, and then do a commentary after.
There's some really good bloopers you got to get in there. Just some stuff that just couldn't.
You're more than welcome to go through the 20 some hours of footage to find them.
We will. we will.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time, but we will.
You're so good at editing, and you know where everything is at.
Because I really need the space on my tablet.
Maybe we could get a little.
You get a little flashy thing and stick it in there.
I have a flash drive
and put it all.
Figure out how to get it on there. I guess.
Just stick it in there and stick it in there.
Or I might just start working on them.
One thing that has to be in there is when I fall down when we were rehearsing. I hope you film that.
No.
Oh, it's not on film?
It's not.
Listen.
Because you practiced.
We practiced. I got a bad back. It hurts all the time. By the time we filmed this, my shoulder was okay, but I know there's a part in the movie where I have to fall down. And all I kept thinking is, how am I going to fall down? And then I said, if this movie's going to work, I gotta go for it. I gotta give it everything I got. and we did it 3 times, but by far the best time was the rehearsal, and I was hoping that would be in the bloopers, but it didn't make it.
I'll check, but
My shoes flew off.
it did.
That was not planned.
This movie didn't make me realize that I'm getting old.
Why?
I can't.
Just can't move like you used to.
No, I can't talk about it because it spoils the movie.
Well,
It would totally ruin the whole.
you kind of. I mean, you can get some. Make your own implications.
No.
We don't move around as good as we used to.
Yeah, well, that's part of the inspiration for the whole thing as well. Though we're getting older.
But we're just starting, dang it.
We're just, this is like
This is the beginning.
Wait, what? This is like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon 1 talking about he's too old for this. Then he makes 3 more movies.
Wasn't he the same age as at least I in that movie? Was he like 42?
He was actually pretty young.
Yeah, well, he's like 42.
No,
I think.
he was supposed to be in his 50s in that.
Yeah, but I'm too old for this, and then he just kept coming back for more movies. It's like Rocky had brain damage in Rocky 1, but it's not a problem till Rocky 6. That's where we're at.
Is there anything you would like to add, Gnome? No? Did you have a good time making it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, are you gonna help us make 2.0? No?
I'll be in the audience.
You'll be in the audience? You're gonna be behind the camera this time making sure there's not random things in the way that shouldn't be there?
We are going to make
it.
a
Won't
movie.
happen.
Yeah.
It won't. There will still be cars. There will still be other people.
No.
There'll be breathing hard into the camera. Those things will not disappear.
Well, the one scene has the pile of scripts laying on the ground.
Well, there's stuff written into the movie to poke fun at. We're just a bunch of idiots
Well,
running
you guys
around a
never talked
campground.
about one of the biggest stars. The camera itself. It kept showing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not true. The camera that didn't actually film usable footage kept showing up.
Yeah.
There was still a camera.
There's only one scene, I think, that I got to use that camera, and that was Mike and Henry in Mom's house.
Oh.
And that's it.
A couple times there was the shadow.
Oh, yeah.
The shadow.
But, you know, that's even in the major movie productions. Like Terminator 2, the windshield in the semi keeps reappearing. All movies have
They
that
make
stuff.
mistakes, yeah.
Even in the multi-million-dollar shows.
Yeah,
But-
Savannah was picking up on some of the stuff that wasn't supposed to be there.
Oh,
She's like,
yeah.
why is Dan standing there
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now?
Why is Dan walking in the background?
But you know what? I'm actually okay with that one because theoretically we're just kind of walking away from
Of
Tiny
course
Camper,
you're okay. It's you.
right? We're walking away from Tiny Camper.
Right, but I just thought it was funny.
Oh, here's another but going back to the witch's brew and how bad that stuff smelled, I wanted to make sure that we knew that there was, plastic bugs and stuff in there. I forgot we got what we needed. But we kept having to do that opening part over and over and over again. I can't remember why. Maybe that's where Mike wasn't talking loud enough. I don't remember.
We made very clear that there was bugs in it.
Yeah. I kept trying to make it so that the bug showed up on my fork. So I'm digging in this stuff.
Oh.
My hands smelled for like 5 days.
You didn't have to do that because we couldn't see it.
You couldn't see. I didn't know you
Well, wait a
couldn't
minute,
see
you
it.
had extra bugs in the car. You could have just got a bug from the car and stuck it in there.
I was digging around in there.
Couldn't see it anyway.
Yeah, you can't see it.
I would have liked to have been able to do like more with the filming as far as like when you're talking, the eye of Newt, whatever, but you can't see the bug. That's not spoiling anything. But being able to go on up to you and do it, or when people are talking, it was just couldn't do it. This camera here could have done it, but I would have had to operate it, and I can't operate it and be out of it. So
And believe me, there was discussion and there was attempts at filming coverage. That's very difficult to do in the time and involved and trying to get this done. So yeah.
I even had multiple camera angles set up and stuff, but some of it was just impossible to keep it out of the other camera. I mean, some of that was really having.
Well, for future, we're going to bring in more people to help with that type of stuff.
Like I wanted a few more shots from the perspective of the killer. I don't think that's definitely not a spoiler.
Oh.
And a few, like I wanted a few more shots laying on the ground and looking up again, like mostly at the killer and what they are doing. But it just wasn't feasible, and it's just no time for that kind of thing.
I thought of the one thing I was going to bring up.
All right.
Why the killer's costume is what it was.
Because there was a miscommunication.
With what?
There was supposed to be. He was supposed to have like a full length
Cloak
thing.
Oh.
And he forgot it or didn't buy it or didn't know where he put it. What was the deal with that?
Mike was responsible for the purchase of the killer's costume.
Everybody was responsible for their own costumes.
Well, yeah, but that was one of his contributions to the film. But he only got half of it. So when we finally got to a scene where we got to kill somebody, we realized we only had half a killer costume.
Which worked out because he wasn't even there.
Yeah, which worked out.
Right. So we went down to specifically film that day, and it ended up being Mud Wars at camp, and everybody else wanted to go to Mud Wars. And we're like, well, Dan, we came down here. We'll film. So I was like, Ed, I think there's a zipper hoodie. I was actually wanting you to grab the gray one that I always wear. But I don't think we communicated that very well because I sent you to get it, and that's what you came out with.
It worked.
Right. So the other thing that I thought would have been a funny joke is I've got like 6 or 7 of those in different colors. That'd have been funny to grab a different color for each different time, but I never truck them down to camp.
It worked out.
It worked.
Right. So
but the killer was supposed to be in a mask with a full cloak. And the mask itself comes from Camp Evil 1 through 4, so that just wasn't an arbitrary decision. Really, Camp Evil 3 and 4.
The killer's outfit isn't a secret because it's literally on the website.
Yeah.
Right. Are we allowed to talk about the one scene that he wasn't even him? Because again, he wasn't there.
Well, we don't want to know. We don't want to say too much.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess we'll save that for the commentary track.
Yep. We don't want to give away too much. Probably gave away too much. There is an element of mystery involved. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
We are wrapping it up. We've babbled long enough.
Got about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I've sat here for an hour and 40 minutes.
No, you've sat there for an hour.
All right.
Huh.
Thanks for watching. Come out and see us if you can.
January 18th. 6 o'clock, the doors open. Movie starts at 7. It's at the Lincoln Lions Theater in Massillon. I guess they call it the Lions Lincoln Theater.
Massillon, Ohio.
I'm going to put the link in the description for you can buy tickets.
Buy your tickets online. Buy them early. It is open to the public, so it's not like there's going to be 500 open seats available. Don't wait till the last minute.
Catch y'all later.